everybody. Thanks for stopping by Killer Off-Road Hobbies, your one-stop shop for RC fun. Let's do this. What's going on, everybody? We're back. We just opened bag J. I did a little bit that I didn't think we needed to go over, but I did put this the rear shock tower brace in. All you do is pull out the two top screws for the wing mount and put the given screws in, and then there's one screw that goes through the bottom and gets a nut on the back side. Super simple. I did put the turnbuckles together already, so that's ready, and we're just going to keep rolling with it. I showed you how to do this, but I will show you what you need to know about these coming up. But we're doing the steering assembly, so we're going to grab piece TKR5103, which is this guy right here. We're going to put him through, which one? This one, with the little hex head on the top. That should just mesh down in there perfectly. And of course it's a Tekno kit, so it does. And then this goes over this guy. Right, like that. So make sure you get the one with the little kind of dome type thing, and it just goes over it like that. So you have your two pieces meshed together, and then we got our spring that's going to go on here, and then we've got our basically nut that's going to go on there. It says tighten it all the way down and then back it off 3 full turns, and it also says to thread lock it, so we're not going to skip that step. We're going to actually go ahead and throw some thread lock in there right now. There we go. And it does get this little washer inside here as well, so we're going to go ahead and install that. The little rubber washer goes in there, and now we're going to go ahead and put it on. I know the lighting kind of sucks right here, guys, so I went ahead and I bought a studio lighting thing so that we can start getting serious with this. I would like this channel to expand. I mean, it seems to me like you guys like it, so, and I really enjoy doing this. So if we can, you know, get this going a little bit, that would be awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and put out the money and get a lighting set. That way you guys can see much better than you can right now, I'm sure. And you know, we're just going to keep this channel rolling. I mean, I'm super excited about all the growth we've had and everything, and it's just awesome, everybody. I can't thank you guys enough. And Bob Cousy for sponsoring this thing. That is just amazing. Alright, so that's all the way down, so we're going to hold this straight up so that we can go come on, baby. There's 1, 2, 3. So that's exactly what it said to do. Tighten it all the way down, back it off 3. I thread locked it already, the rubber washers in there and everything. So this piece for right now is done. So we're going to move on to the next step, which is grabbing this, and this goes like this. Okay, so these two, and then we're going to grab this little thread nut and 2 washers, 2 of these little tiny washers. So this is what I'm talking about, the thread nut. So it's going to get a washer in the bottom, washer in the top. Gets this thread nut up through there, right like that. And we're going to do the same thing on the arm on this guy. Wash. Bearing on the top, bearing on the bottom, and make sure you get the steel bearings. These ones have rubber grommets in them. They are for later, so they're too big anyways, they wouldn't fit in there, but just in case you guys are wondering. Okay, so now we're going to take, what's this part? Doesn't give me a part number for this guy. Oh well. So we're going to take this guy and we're going to screw him on top of both of those using these, and we're going to thread lock both of them. So grab TKR 1323, so 1323, thread lock him, and this is just straight, it doesn't have a curve or anything, so you should just be good to screw her in there. Like that, and it still moves free, but it's nice and tight. Same thing with the other side. Dab a blue thread lock, a little generous dab of blue thread lock. And you do want to use that same style nut on this side as well, so go ahead and slide that up through there. Whoop. Oh no, I got thread lock on my mat. And then screw it on there. Alrighty, so it should be nice and tight, but still move freely, just like that. Alrighty, so the next part is to make these. So the right side has this rod end right here, the little ball end, with the long extension part up and down. That's the right side. And the left side is the same way, up and down. Now, what we're going to do is, so stock position is going to be in the rearmost hole. So we are going to use TKR 1529 and TKR 1221. So the 1221s are these washers that are provided. So it's going to use TKR 1529 is going to be the bolt, goes up through. This is going to be your left side here. So left side with the little notch out. And then you get the 3 washers on top of the little ball end inside the rod, just like that. And then you go up through, and like I said, the rear hole is the stock position. We are going to do this whole thing stock on this build. So then pull it down. The nice thing about this too is that all your nuts are captured, so you don't have to mess around with it. You can just pull it down and tighten it up nice and tight. It's a lock nut, and just make sure that moves freely. It does. And like I was saying, it's a lock nut, so you don't have to worry about thread lock on that guy. And we're going to do the same thing on this side, and we will be right back. Alrighty, so that's put together. Everything is moving freely, and I do have a correction. It is 4 of those little washers, not 3. I had 2 extras, and I looked at it again, and it is 4, not 3. So sorry about that. Now what we're gonna do are just put our little rubber grommeted bearings in here. Just slide them in. And this is getting pretty exciting, guys, because now we are opening bag J, or K rather, bag K. And we're gonna be mounting this stuff to the chassis. I'm so excited. Okay. So right now we're on page 15, so no chassis just yet, guys, sorry. Put that at page 16 now. Okay. So now what we're going to do is take our little piece right here, which is, why doesn't it give parts numbers for these? That's whatever though. But you want your eyelets facing back towards you if the truck's this way. And then we're taking TKR 1443, which are going to be these button head screws right here, these guys. And then we're going to take these rods right here that are TKR 5102A, and we're going to shove them up through these, right, like that. They are identical, by the way, so you don't have to worry about which one goes where. Just slide them up through. There it is. Okay, now you're going to thread lock these screws and put that on the top of the steering. Now this can be kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. I remember that specifically from the MT4 kit. And what you can do if those start spinning on you is hold it with a set of needle nose. They do have little flat spots that go into the chassis, so you'll have to turn those later, but just get it, you know, decently tight right now, and then you'll give it the good wrench once you get it in the chassis. So there you go, right like that. This going forward with your rod ends towards the back. This is going to be the front of the truck, the back of the truck. Okay, so that step is done. Now we are to put this on the front end. So we'll pull out the front end, set it right here. We're going to take our TKR 1443s, the button head bolts again, and we're going to screw the top of that plate into the top of the disc case. I'll show you guys as soon as I'm done. I'm telling you, there is nothing like a Tekno kit. These kits are so amazing. They just go together so nicely. Look at that, like no struggle except for me talking and not paying attention. Okay, so you have 2 holes in the top of the back of the diff case, and you put those button head bolts in there right there. Alright, now it calls for you to put your turnbuckles on, and you're going to use 4 of the washers provided. You're going to use TKR 1529, which are these long bolts right here. So you put the bolt through, You put the 4 washers on. Now it does have a thing to capture the nut on the bottom of that. So hopefully I can just pop that in there. Yep. And then slide that in, start it, and screw it down. Well, that was a little bit of a hassle, but that is ready. I'm going to do the other side and we'll be right back. Alrighty, now that that's done and all this stuff moves easily, we're going to bust out the freaking chassis. That's awesome. Chassis is out. And since this is the front, you're going to put it on the part that's kind of skewed up a little bit. It's calling for the TK1344s. So the longer 4 screws here. All right. So it looks like we want to probably put on the chassis, the front chassis brace first. So those are going to get the TKR1334s too. So it's got a little spot in the chassis where you put it right here, this long groove. So you just set it in there and then you'll just grab your screws. Now normally I don't wrench these down just yet. Like I'll put it in here and get it like close to being tight, but I won't wrench it down all the way just to give myself a little bit of flexibility in case I need to move, you know, make little tiny adjustments or whatever. So that's how I do it. If you want to do it that way, great. If you have your own methods, you know, kudos to you. It's all people's perspectives on how they want to do stuff. If you don't want to tighten stuff up afterwards, but see that, how it's still loose, but it's on there and in place. Okay, and it looks like these need to be sideways. So without a backer, I'm going to take and put the flat piece, the flat parts on the top and bottom, because that's how it looks like it has to go in the chassis. So that should do it right there. And then hopefully with just a little bit of persuasion, I can get this thing to sit on here. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is put the 2 of the TKR 1344 or 1344, 2 of those in, staggered from each other. So one in the back on one side, not tighten it all the way down just yet, and the other one in the front on the opposite side. Like I said, that's how I like to do it. I don't like to wrench all this stuff down till I know I'm pretty much good to go and I'm not going to have to pull it back out. Alright, so that is on there, but not tight just yet. So now what I'm going to do is get my steering lined up, and you take the shorter screws, which are TKR 1343, and they get thread lock because they're going into the steering. and metal. So a little bit of thread lock. Make sure it's nice and lined up. And crank her down. Now these ones I am actually going to tighten all the way down. So that's one. Here's the other one. See how flawlessly these things go together? Just crazy. All right, so that's tight. Now what I'm going to do is just tighten, put in the last two screws here, and I'm going to tighten all 6 of them down, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, I'm going to end it there. That is pretty far, pretty awesome. This thing is just insanely cool. I am super stoked about building this and everything. But go ahead and give her the old thumbs up if you did like this part of the build series. Thumbs down if you didn't. If you're just stumbling upon this, check out my previous 2 videos. I go through every step up to this and pretty much, you know, just real time. And yeah, this build is awesome. Tekno's awesome. And Bob Kuzi, you are awesome for sponsoring this. All right, everybody, get out there, get an RC, go have some fun, and we'll see you next time. Peace.